is the real question we ought to be asking is which came first, the rooster or the hen?
Jeremy asking.
Welcome, everyone.
Hey, internets. It's Jake from Terrain Domain. And this is welcome to Paradise Academy, Season 2 of our Paradise, Michigan Kids on Bikes RPG. This is episode 38, Before Paradise, and this happens to be our season finale. That's right. These kids are about to do, well, a couple of them, one in particular, is about to do something that is going to have far-reaching consequences enough that it's causing the season to end. It also has perfect timing with the fact that we're about to go into the holiday season in December. So this will be our last Kids on Bikes episode of 2024. Rather, our last Welcome to Paradise. But not the last time you'll see me or any of these other players, because we got lots of great stuff going on. A couple of super quick announcements before we get into things. Tomorrow night, if you're watching with us live, or if you're watching on VOD, then it's probably already available on VOD, is Mini Terrain Domain Presents, in association with Absolute Tabletop, Aether Nexus, The Severed Knight Trilogy, Part 1. Myself and several amazing friends are going to be embarking on some adventures in Aether Nexus, a recently released system by Absolute Tabletop. This is an official sponsored game. Jeremy has already run an incredible trilogy over on Erasmus Expeditions on YouTube. And I'm going to follow that up with my take on Aether Nexus. I've assembled some amazing role players, amazing Aetheric knights with their apparati. Join me, Carrie, Sarah Nelson, Violet Davies, Dwight Wade, and Jay Neophet 3 tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then session 2, you'll only have to wait 48 hours, less than 48 hours, because we will be playing on Sunday at 4 p.m. And then session 3 will be 1 week later on December 1st at 4 p.m. We kind of stack things in fairly close, but that means you don't have to wait very long between episodes to check out what's going to happen. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be incredible. I can't wait to see what these folks do, just based on our session 0 and the Nexus they put together. This is going to be a lot of fun. Honestly, I feel like I could just do the intro, sit back, and maybe have to change scenes every once in a while. But I digress. Speaking of new games, after that third and final episode of the Aether Nexus trilogy, the very next day, December 2nd, on Monday, will be the premiere, the very first session of a brand new Pathfinder 2 campaign, Seven Dooms for Sandpoint. Also featuring Carrie, but also featuring Jay.
My goal is to drown out
also
M
featuring
in episodes.
What was that?
I said my goal is to drown out M in featured episodes.
You're getting there.
I'm narrowing the gap.
What did I say? We got Carrie and Vi and Jay and Tamiko.
And Vi and Jay.
Karen.
Tamiko and Karen.
Another amazing MTD alum. That will be that's going to be our next Pathfinder campaign. And that's expected to be roughly levels. They're starting at level 4 and will be roughly going to 11 or 12, and we'll see what happens from that. We also have, we've had some discussions after having our original session 0, and we're going to run 1 or 2 sessions in December, probably just the one, and then kick back up in the new year. But more Scavenger is coming with Marquise, Boyd, and I. just very, very disparate timelines, or not timelines. Our timelines are the same. Our time zones, disparate time zones and schedules have made that one difficult, but we're still going to make that happen. As well as a handful of other things popping up here and there. Up in the corner, if you look up above Tamiko and Blair, missing Jessica, you will see that there are some domain pops. Domain pops are domain dice for this campaign. I actually owe you 5 of those thanks to the...
Actually, Jake, don't bother putting that in there.
Why?
Why?
Somebody's gonna roll.
Ooh.
And it's not up
Immediately?
to me. It's gonna be up to the chat.
Oh my
Ooh.
God. The level of chaos. There's layers.
Gremlin.
Okay, so I awarded the 45. I'm gonna take him, or the 5.
Jesus.
I'm gonna take him away.
You
So-
owe me 1 because I resubscribed.
Okay. So the way these domain dice work
Jesus.
is that the players can use them to add +1 for every die that they spend to dice rolls, or as we're seeing happen here, they can be spent as a at the rate of 5 to make somebody roll on the D100 Mr. Grab Bag table. Maybe one of the mods should start a poll. Are you able to do that, or am only I able to do that? So far, we've got one
Oh,
vote
I just
for
did it.
Rosie. One...
It's in there.
Oh, okay.
It's in there. It's up for 5 minutes.
Okay.
It's, I
Okay,
don't-
yeah.
I
So
don't know
you
how
have
that
to
works.
click at the top on your chat, to click who you want to roll. It can't be Jessica because she's not here.
Jessica's not in the poll. Tamiko thought of
Yeah.
everything.
Yep. So make sure you're clicking on the poll, get those in
What if
there,
it's a 3-way tie, Tamiko?
and then we'll see when that comes through in however many minutes.
Oh,
If it ends up being a tie, there will be a roll off.
Yeah.
you're about to get hoisted by your own petard, you little shit.
So, yeah. So that's how the domain dice work. I can't remember what else I was supposed to say, so I'm going to say this. Hey, we're playing make believe, like we are kids and teenagers in a fictional universe in 1985 in Michigan. Lots of weird stuff happens. You might also hear adult language. You might hear graphic depictions of violence, intense role-playing situations. You may hear intense discussions about things like bullying, substance use and abuse, divorce, any number of things. If any of these things aren't your cup of tea, feel free to go somewhere else. Do know, though, that we have safety tools in place. We've had session zeros. We've established lines and veils. Make sure that everybody at our table is safe. So we do have, things in place should people need to bail out during a game. I think it's super important that you look into safety tools yourself for your own table. Regardless of if you're running a game for a bunch of new people, or you're playing with the same people you've played for or played with for the last 30 years. You're starting something new, you should have a session zero, establish lines and veils, put safety tools in place. And you can check those out at the link that's in the chat. Finally, I just want to let you know that you matter. Just like we tell you before every one of our games, because it's that important. We want you to know that your presence on this earth makes a difference. Whether you believe it or not, it is true. There are any number of reasons why you might be struggling, but one thing you should not have to struggle with is how to get help. All you need to do is come to the chat, type !help, and a couple of URLs will pop up. You can check out findahelpline.com, or check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. Before we get into the game, one last announcement. I knew I was forgetting something. I don't know how I could forget this. On Saturday, December 7th, at 4 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, will be Legends of Eleonora, the Secret of the Frozen Flame, the celebrity D&D game presented by Todd Stashwick's Nerd Circus and dungeon mastered by Todd Stashwick, with players Gates McFadden, Anson Mount, Celia Rose Gooding, Ed Spaliers. I think that's all of them. And we have our 2 winners, and I don't have their names in front of them from the auction. But I think it's important to note, because of our auction winners, that we are starting really close to 20 grand already raised for this year's fundraiser. One of our donors, you may recognize him from the first game. He was one of the winners. We'll be playing again. And then we have a new person that I cannot remember her name. I'm not even going to hazard a guess, lest I say it wrong. But a new poster will be coming out this week, depicting all of the folks, as well as beautiful artwork by Julia Madalena and title treatment by Igni Hart on Instagram. And the poster will be designed by me and will be available for, I think we might be giving a couple of them away during the game, but it will also be available for sale during the game, as well as some t-shirts with the artwork and the game name on them. All profits, of course, going to benefit the Pablo Foundation. With that, I would like to welcome you all. Paradise. Again.
Poll ended. Bastards.
Oh, looks like it's Coop, hoisted by
Yep.
his own petard, as you said.
You know, I was going to be cool and not put my name on there and make you pick from these 4, see what happens from being nice, see if I'm ever nice again.
I think
Chat.
that's fair. I think that would be fair play, because you make the poll, you get to leave your name off of it.
Yep.
Strike first, strike hard.
63.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I am going to take note of this.
Oh jeez.
Because of where we're at, I cannot guarantee this will be resolved this night or in this session.
Resolve
this
it whenever you
season.
need to, Meg.
However, I can tell you, boy, would this be a way to start off season 3.
Oh.
You're just a little bit getting into the negative range of that middle of the list. So it's not great, but it's not terrible. At first. So, with that in mind, we did end last week's session rather abruptly by, I wish it was planned, but what turned out to be one of the most perfectly timed internet outages. So going to that moment where that line that was delivered, we're in Maniac's Pizza. Things are slowly, not even slowly, rapidly rather, the iteration is disintegrating around you. And you've even noticed that around you, the people of Paradise are all staring at you. People are stopping their cars outside, walking by. We're staring through the windows to watch at you. And that's when Oak got the idea. Oak, why don't you take us back just a few moments to reestablish that scene and what your line was that we ended on, and then
Last time on Welcome to Paradise Academy.
Yeah. So we see all the kids kind of sitting around the table, and everything is happening almost in this pause button on a VHS tape. Everything else except for them slows down in this moment. And Oak's like making these calculations in his head. And then he looks to Laz, and then he looks over to Jessica, and he just holds a hand out to Jessica and says, "Do you trust me?"
She nods.
And
You're
then
muted Jake somehow. Sorry.
She nods. Did you hear that?
I did the second time.
I heard it now. Yeah. So at that point, he would basically ask for her hand and then look over to Laz and be like, "Do you trust me?"
Yeah, man. Dagobah all the way.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm about to do something real stupid, but if what I think is gonna work, it might get us out of this. And he kind of like points ahead, and then if nobody else is seeing what I'm seeing, like, it's so off-putting that I think it's a dream that only I'm having, but I'm hoping that the other kids are recognizing that this is happening.
I don't remember. Were we seeing it also, or just Oak?
It was just Oak that was seeing people stare at us, I think.
I believe Jess was also seeing it, if I remember.
But as
Yeah.
Oak points, can the rest of us look around and notice too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Ugh. And have you taken Jessica's hand and Laz's hand?
Yep.
But like, what's your stupid thing, man? I don't think like saying grace is going to get us out of this.
Okay. So I'm thinking if I use my powers, and then we could, with Jess and maybe Laz and all of us combined, maybe I could somehow phase us through time. Phase us out of here and move us somewhere safe. Because this is not safe anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sitting next to Laz. I take Laz's hand, other hand.
Okay.
And I reach over to Coop.
Coop grabs some mittens.
Grabs the mitts. Okay. Once everybody
Is Billy holding hands with us yet?
Yeah.
We have to
Hey.
bring
Oh,
Billy.
he didn't have a choice. Coop grabbed his hand, so I don't know what's happening on his
Whether
other
you liked
side.
it or not. Let's go, buddy.
I think
Ah,
I think there might
Maybe
be this
Jess.
moment of hesitation, and then Jessica would reach out and take his hand.
okay.
Wait, no. They have to reach across the table to clasp hands. In order to do so, they have to reach right past that reflective napkin holder on the table.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might
Nice.
be
That's a
Jess's
nice
sign of in fact, I feel confident in doing this for M. I think there's that hesitation. Jessica starts to reach across and stops at the as we see Billy's hand reflected in the napkin holder, and she hesitates for a moment, and then she just grabs the napkin holder and just throws it across the room, and it slams into the wall.
Wow.
And then she grabs.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that there's probably like a momentary hesitation as well from Billy. But it is less obvious than Jessica's as he's looking to Oak to get this fixed.
Hey, Billy, I promise you, man, I wouldn't lead you astray. I want to do this. I want to do what's right to save you guys. Please. And once everyone clasps hands together, I would like to use my power to try to phase us now through this space and hopefully to a safe space, either in this iteration, hopefully in this iteration,
Jesus
or
Christ.
elsewhere if things go awry.
So, if I could interject for just a brief moment, once we all clasp hands, Billy's going to look like he's holding on and looking to Oak, and he has no power to do anything like this, but I don't know if I'm in any way, shape, or form connected to the other people that I've joined hands and made a
Oh.
circle with.
The
But
other powered teens.
I am, yes. At least in my mind's eye, I am going to reach out and envision that same circle, adding in Robbie and what was the girl's name? Or the
You don't even
Claire.
remember who's in your clique.
Claire.
Claire.
No, the one that Oak took to the dance.
Oh, Gertie.
Abby.
No,
Talking
Abby.
about Gertie.
Gertie's not
Gertie.
part of that. though.
No.
Yes, she is.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yep.
He told you that.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I'm going to envision all of them as if they were like a secondary circle along with us.
Wow, I love that. Okay, that's super cool. Yes, let's do it.
Let's go. Rosie can't use her power either, but she's just wishing with all her might right
Listen.
So-
Yes, you can. Yes, you can, because you
I've-
are unbreakable. So
now.
the
Okay,
idea
I
is
can
that
save
the chain
me.
is no. But like the
The
chain
is
locked.
unbreakable.
The chain is unbreakable.
So-
I got you.
Dude, great explanation. Can do.
Oak has Laz, Jessica. Laz is holding Rosie's hand, who is holding
Mhm.
Coop's hand, who is
No.
holding
Oh, yes.
Billy's hand, who is reaching over and grabbing Jessica's hand. As you guys are sitting in this sort of circular booth in the corner. The way this is going to work is Oak's intention is to use his own power, combine it with Jessica's phasing ability, and sort of supercharge it with Laz's ability.
Mm.
There are some complications that are going to alter how things are working here. One is, Laz, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have not powered your charging ability.
No.
You have not absorbed
Not
any
recently.
ability, any power.
No.
But as part of what he's attempting to do, Oak is attempting to siphon power through you. Which means you are going to roll your power tokens, and you are attempting to siphon power from Rosie. So basically,
That's
you're
perfect.
you're trying to draw off of each other's superpowers, which means that potentially is going to, depending on how the rolls go, might end up having to pull from Coop and Billy.
Okay.
So it's kind of like one person touches, if you've got a line of people touching an electrically charged outlet, it's the last person in the line that's going to feel it. And if they let go, the next, it's kind of the current's passing through everybody. I have dice rolls already for Jessica. And I already know how many power tokens Jessica has to roll in order to succeed. Laz, in order for Oak to be able to supercharge this, you need to have something for him to supercharge with, which means you need to attempt to siphon power from Rosie.
Do it. I am happy to be your power bank.
Your DC is 20.
Okay.
You have one free roll of a power token before adverse effects start to kick in.
Yeah, Laz looks at Rosie and he kind of squeezes her hand and kind of says, "Sorry."
I just kind of nod. I'm like, it's cool.
First roll's a 6,
Okay, that explodes.
and then a 2, so that's 8.
So 8 on your free one.
First actual is 5, so that's 13.
Okay.
Second of my actual is another 5, so that's 18. That's a good sign.
Nice. Don't
So
say that out
third of
loud.
My actual, right, is a 2.
Oh, Jesus.
So on the nose.
Cutting
Thanks,
it
Di.
close, brother.
So 3 of mine. Plus the free.
Does he need to beat it or get 20?
He has to hit it.
Okay.
Rosie.
Yeah.
I need you to make a grit check.
Perfect. Can do. Here I go. That's a 12.
What is your grit die you're rolling on?
D20.
That's a 12. You are not going to suffer any adverse effects. You do feel a wave of nausea, and you feel something you've never felt before. Is you feel that something is being taken away from you. And you also know that if any point during this process, if something happens to you, your power, your ability is greatly diminished.
Is weakened. Okay.
Yes.
Rosie kind of like, I imagine, she wouldn't like grit her teeth, but Laz, if you look over at her, you see like the muscles in her jaw kind of like working a little bit. It almost looks like she's chewing gum, but she's not chewing gum.
Actually, just noticed something in those rolls that I didn't account for, so it works in your favor.
While Jake is clearly doing math, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we've got all kinds of great t-shirts like the one I'm wearing, maybe the one Jeremy is wearing. No, I don't think we got Dawnbringers t-shirts anymore, but you know what? Get the ones we have now while they last. We got brand new cool Paradise t-shirts and all kinds of other great ones. We can get them on t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, and so much more. Teespring.com. Just search the link in the description for this video.
Jessica rolls a 1 for her free power token. Jessica gets a 6 on the second one, so it explodes. That was the thing I didn't account for. Then gets a 5, so is already at 12 on the first token. Then rolls another 5, taking it to 17. And then rolls a 3. So, just like Laz, in only the use of 3 power tokens, do they hit the DC? Oak. I need you to make your check. Your DC is 70. But Oak, both Jessica and Laz hit their DCs dead on. So you start out at 40.
Ooh. Oh, okay. So I need to hit I need to hit 30 then.
Yes.
I thought I had to hit 70 and there's
Nope.
on a D6 there's no way.
Well,
Unless you explode a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
No, it's what you are attempting to do. The reason the DCs are so high is you guys are attempting to use your powers in ways that not only have you never used them, they've
That's
never
true.
been used in this way.
They've never been used ever. Okay.
So
Ooh.
these are very.
Okay.
The breakdown was basically that for each thing you were doing, it was the maximum. In fact, one of them for how it affects the universe or how big it is, it's a plus 10.
Mm-hmm.
So you're starting at 40. Excuse me, because the other two succeeded.
Okay.
So I need you to start rolling.
Okay, here we go. Let's
Do
see
it,
how
boy.
I can get
Let's
it. Let's
do
do
it.
it. Okay, that's not bad. That's a 5 for the start. Okay, that'll be
So
okay.
the 5 is the
I can take
freebie.
that. Yep. Okay.
6 of the way there already.
Another 5.
Okay.
Oh shit! It fell off the table. Fuck!
No, no, no!
It's lost forever.
Lost forever. Hold on.
Get the 5 die.
Oh no. There you are.
This would be a great place for an ad. Unfortunately, I already done
I've
one.
already contractually done.
Yes.
Well, Chad
okay.
chases his dice around his floor.
We're good. I got it, guys. I got it. Oh, hey, that's 3 in a row. Okay, that's not bad.
Another 5.
Okay.
Halfway there.
Ooh, and there's a 6. So that explodes.
Okay, so that explodes.
That's a 1.
Okay, so whoa. 7.
So we should be at, is that 15,
22.
22. I need to be at 30, right? Okay. There's a 6. Sweet. And then a 2.
That's an 8. So that puts you right at 30.
And I've used how many? 4?
4 dice.
Right at 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts you at the 70.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time this is happening, Billy, you're attempting to connect with Algernon's circle.
Yes.
So I need you to roll some power tokens. Your DC is also going to be a 20.
You're tainting the circle.
I'm not
I'm not
counting them on my
tainting
fingies anymore.
I'm
Now my
just
fingies.
trying to have a couple tag-alongs. That's all.
I'll count them in my big math brain.
All right. So the first one is free. I rolled a 1. Second roll is a 3. Okay. Another 3.
That makes 7 on a total of 2.
I rolled a 6.
That explodes.
13 on a total of 3.
And then a 4.
17 on a total of 4.
And then a 3. Brings it up to 20.
20 on a total of 5. I'm so glad I paid tens of thousands of dollars
So,
for my math degree.
Where did Oak go? Oak, are you there?
Comes in handy. I'm sure he'll be
Oh,
fine.
there he is.
Oh my God!
He just
He
took that
warped
He's
aside.
already starting to phase out.
I'm just standing up to stretch, and every time I do it, it phases me out of the camera.
So, Oak, you can feel,
Yep.
as you're doing this, you can feel the power coming from Laz. You can feel the power coming from Jessica. But you feel like something is leeching power. The DC has gone up by 10. You need to roll more dice to beat the DC.
Oh no! Oh dear. Okay.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. It's okay. It's okay.
It's cool. It's fine. It's cool.
So I've used 4, so I have up to 3 to hit 10 more, right?
Yes. I will
Okay.
say
Mm-hmm.
that the only other person who isn't using any of their power here, optionally, can contribute by rolling instead, but only at their will.
It's your one roller.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
So regardless, Oak
Yeah.
still has 3 more power tokens that he can spend,
yep.
with the consequences
also have
getting
all
worse
kinds
and
of
worse for
pops.
each one.
You know Coop will help.
Yes,
You
I know
just have
Coop.
to
will.
ask.
I do. I think in that moment, I feel it waning, and I look over to Coop, and I'm like, I think I need more power.
Is it working?
I think I need more power, Coop.
Okay. More power. Gotcha.
Coop, before you
And
even roll power
Interesting.
Kamehameha!
Interesting, Jake, before you say what you're going to say. Coop wants to help, and he also wants to try to get some power glove power in here.
Now you're
Okay.
playing with power. Fuck yeah, dude.
That's
Fuck
the first thing. That's the first thing he
course.
thought. And after I read Jeremy's thing in the side chat, that's the first thing he thought after.
Which is
after
ironic because
Oak said he
what I
needed
was
power.
going to say was, before you roll power tokens, you can try to use your power glove.
Yeah.
So what I need you to do is I need you to make a grit check.
Oh. Oh, a grit check, huh? All right. Sorry, my thing was open and then it closed and now it's freaking out. Okay, there we go.
You got this.
My grit is a D8.
Okay.
You're golden.
That's a 2.
Okay.
Oh.
So
gritty.
you are able to do this. You are able to basically provide additional power. The grit check is only to determine if there is a particular after effect whenever you use the power glove. It's not to determine your success or failure.
Oh, okay.
Was low good then? Let's call it Cthulhu rules. Anybody?
So
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I don't need to know. I don't need to know that shit in advance.
I don't think I'd ever revealed what the condition was, which is why I'm being coy.
Yeah.
But I won't tell you anything other than you didn't hit what was required for the thing to trigger. Regardless, you're able to, before you tap into your own power, you tap into the power of your power glove.
Does it glow blue? Do I glow blue?
Yeah, I mean,
Rises out
all
of
of
the
the
booth.
circuitry that's running up your arm and across your fingertips, where it's sort of integrated, you start to look very Tron-like. And that power, I imagine it's kind of like, as it energizes, it immediately starts going where your hand is connected to Laz's, because it's Laz literally siphoning that power out.
That's so cool.
I would like you to roll me a
Nice.
D4, please.
A D4?
Yep.
1.
So in this case, that one is Oak. You get 1 free additional power token from the power that Oak is providing on top. So before you, as you're trying to hit this plus 10, you have 1 free power token to spend.
All right.
Roll, damn it.
Vegas, baby, let's go. Woo! That's the good one. That's an explode. That's an explode.
Yeah, that's what we want to see.
That's another explode. That's 12. That's beautiful.
There you go.
Okay.
And then we got a 3. So yeah,
You pulled
that'll
a
be
15
total
off of a
15
single
off a single freebie.
when you only needed a 10.
Let's go.
It's the power glove, baby.
So I imagine as all of this is happening, I'm imagining this is one of those scenes where it's kind of like in that 70s show when they're in the basement getting high and the camera's sort of sitting in the middle of the table, except there's this intensity as it's almost like there's a wind coming from who knows where, and the camera's rapidly moving from each person, and then it shifts over to Coop, and as that power funnels through Laz into Oak, we see Oak concentrating, and Oak, it's like the veins in your arms and hands coursing even up through your neck begin to glow with that blue energy, and we see you beginning to pulse and phase, and it takes a moment, and then that energy starts to spread out from you and around through the group.
Oh my god.
Until all of you have this Tron-like lighting pulsing through, following the lines of your veins, coming up through your necks. You all are starting to phase, and then first it hits Oak, and then it hits Laz and Jess, and then Billy and Coop, as it goes up your necks, and your eyes go and turn into these glowing blue beams of energy.
Fucking
We became
rad.
anime characters.
Yes.
And as the camera's spinning faster and faster and we're seeing these streaks of light, there's suddenly just this moment of that you get that anime sort of and all wind seems to stop, and we cut to a sort of low or a static shot away from the table looking at all of you, and the camera pans down, and we see some of that blue energy traveling down Billy's leg and into the floor. Only we, the audience, see that. As suddenly there's that moment of just dead silence, and even anything moving in the wind seems to just hold still for a moment, and then zzz, you all just implode into light, and then bing, you're gone. We see, for a moment, we go a few moments backwards in time as down in the lab deep below Paradise Academy, Algernon and the other powered students are rapidly assembling. Algernon's quickly getting everybody into their seats, and he's powering up the chair that Billy would normally sit in as he's quickly directing everybody. And he's yelling out, "We only have one shot at this, and I don't even know if it's going to work. You all have an opportunity to do something great today." And at that moment that the energy succeeds, we see, just as Algernon gets to where he needs to hit a button, we see, well, let's find out what we see.
Oh God, is this just whether he wins?
No,
is that what this role is?
No, this is not to see if he wins. This is to see if he succeeds at what he's trying to do.
That's the same thing.
There's winning and succeeding are not necessarily the same thing.
Okay.
And because he wins doesn't mean you lose.
Okay.
So Algernon is going to have the same. We're going to simplify this. Is that Algernon is going to have a DC 30. There's a 2.
Do you need me to keep a tally?
I got it. You can if you want to keep me honest. I will tell you. Well, the second one explodes. So Algernon, for reasons I've never explained, has 2 free power tokens.
Oh God!
But the second one just exploded, which is currently at 6. So 10.
That's 12 total.
Yep. 12.
For his 2 freebies.
So now he's starting to draw on the consequences. A 1.
Loser.
13.
First off, Carrie.
15.
15 on 2.
And then 2. Gotta remember to take them away. Oh no. 16 on 3.
Gonna have such a headache. Gonna have such a noggin thumper.
17 on 4. A lot of ones.
Those ones coming.
1s and 2s.
White
But this
suited
is gonna be a 6.
bitch.
Nope.
21 on 5.
You see where you all had this energy pulsing through you. You see that the machinery that Algernon uses is starting to spark. And you see that these other kids are starting to spasm. They're gripping hold of the chair. And you can see that some of their powers seem to be almost leaking out of them. Like the one that can control what Claire can control weather. And it's like small bursts of electricity, of lightning, are starting to arc out and then immediately be drawn back in. Oh no, it's another 1. What are we at here? 10, 12,
22
13,
on
14,
6. 25 on 7.
We see as Algernon is attempting to do this, the energy starts to course through some of these students. And then we see that same lightning bolts that were starting to arc through Claire. They suddenly lance out with even more power. And then they start to jaggedly shoot across the room randomly. Machinery is sparking. Lightning bolts are striking some of these other kids. And they're manifesting. Their powers seem to be overloading. And we see Claire being electrocuted by her own power. We realize, as we're starting to see this image distorted, the scene of chaos, and it does this sort of kind of almost wide angle look, and we realize then it starts to pull back, that we're watching everything in the reflection of Algernon's glasses, as everything takes a red tint. And then we see Algernon with this look of fear. And then he pushes up his glasses, straightens his tie, and he turns his back on the chaos. And walks away.
What a coward. What a piece of shit.
But none of you saw that.
No, of course we didn't.
As for all of you, there is silence. The first sound you hear, distant, faint sound of waves crashing. A distant rumble of thunder. You have a feeling like you are waking from a deep slumber. You have no... Wasn't that what that was supposed to be?
Sorry.
You have no memory, or no sense of where you are, rather. It's that feeling like when you're in a deep sleep and you're also sleeping over at somebody's house and you forgot you were sleeping there, and you start to wake up and you're like, where am I? As you all realize, as you start to come to, you're sitting around a table. The game room in the basement of the Kubrick family home is eerily quiet, save for the soft patter of water dripping from the glass doors onto the tiled floor. Outside, the beach is nearly swallowed by the high tide, waves crashing against the sliding glass doors with growing intensity. The sky beyond the windows is a brooding slate gray, pregnant with the promise of an imminent storm. Lightning flickers faintly in the distance, a warning of what's to come. Inside, the scene is a strange juxtaposition of chaos and stillness. The floor is damp, thin layer of water lapping over scattered drifts of sand. The game table, situated in the center of the room, remains untouched by the encroaching water, as if protected by some unseen force. It's cluttered with the tools of a campaign in progress. An unfolded map of Paradise, vibrant and detailed. Dice of all shapes and colors scattered carelessly. Character sheets marred with pencil smudges. Crumpled bags of Doritos and empty Mountain Dew cans. Carefully painted miniatures, representing each one of you, are arranged in a loose circle on the map, frozen in poses of action. The head of the table stands out. It is conspicuously empty. The high-backed chair pushed slightly away, waiting. Above it, the single overhead lamp casts a harsh, focused beam. illuminating the tabletop while the corners of the room fall into shadow. The light reflects faintly off the damp floor, creating rippling patterns that dance across the walls. From the shadows at the edge of the room, a figure emerges. His presence is unnerving, commanding attention without effort. He's tall and lean, his long dark hair falling in damp strands that glisten faintly in the light. His eyes, sharp and impossibly deep, shimmer with green-blue hues that seem to shift like the surface of a lake. A weathered fisherman's coat clings to his broad shoulders, dripping water pools at his feet in silent defiance of the already soaked floor. His movements are fluid, unhurried, as though he is an extension of the rising tide. Without a word, the figure approaches the table. You watch silently as he slides the chair back, takes his seat at the head. His hands, strong and calloused, rest on the table, fingertips tracing the map with an almost intimate familiarity. The lamp above flickers briefly, casting long shadows that ripple like waves before steadying once. As the lamp flickers, the storm outside grows louder, the rain tapping against the glass in rhythm with the figure's measured breaths. He leans forward, his gaze sweeping across the table, lingering on each one of you and your miniatures, as if seeing more than just the figures before him. Finally, his lips curl into the faintest of smiles, enigmatic and knowing, as though he has been waiting for this moment far longer than anyone else in this room. Greetings, children of paradise. I am Mishigama, the Warden Undertow.
Oh my god.
My mortal name is Tomaska Greywater. It is my pleasure to finally meet all of you face to face. Suppose you have some questions. He leans back, steepling his hands, gestures as if to open the floor to you.
Where are we?
We are in one of those spaces in between. Orson brought you here. This looks very familiar to you, doesn't it?
Yeah. Really familiar.
Why is this town so messed up?
How did...
I would expect nothing more from you, Billy, or anything less than going right to the point. Like many things, this town is the town of Paradise in its current state is endemic of the path it has been forced upon. You are seeing the results of generations of meddling. He offers no further explanation.
Can it be fixed?
Yes. In a number of ways. Like many things, sometimes the simplest way is to wipe the slate clean. Remove Paradise from the face of existence and start again. but that is what we would call an extreme measure.
Dare say.
If Paradise gets like erased, like you said, what happens to us? Like, we're connected to this place, I think. What happens to us?
You are more connected than you realize. If Paradise were to be eliminated, to be wiped out, then all of you, well, most of you, as he looks over to Oak, would be also wiped from existence.
Well, then let's leave that one off the table then, shall we?
Yeah, I agree. Well, what do we do? What do we need to do?
What is your connection here?
I would like
watch.
I would like any of you who are Michigan natives, characters, make a brains check.
I got a 6.
19.
Whoop! Whoop!
So, Billy, you know what Carrie already said in the side chat. Carrie immediately recognized that Michigama is the Native American name, the native name for Lake Michigan. And that is who this man introduced himself.
I know you said man, but I like the D&D player in me and the voice you were using, like part of my brain is seeing this as like a dragon looming over us.
That, in your mind, would probably be a fair assessment. A dragon or a god or one and the same. I think of it to get the framework right, so we're on the same wavelength. I think of it in the same way as some of the spirits from a Miyazaki movie. That's exactly the sort of sensation you're getting. You are standing before a powerful spirit of the land. In this case, the actual spirit of Lake Michigan.
So I'll kind of like allow the shock to kind of wash away and kind of change my tone of voice to be like far more respectful. Maybe put in a little bit of awe. So did Oak bring us to you, or did he take us out and you guided us here?
It was a little bit of both. Thus far, I have been, I wouldn't say content, but I have been abstaining from meddling in the affairs of Paradise.
Even
things have been getting out of hand. And then all of you came along. My interest was piqued. Some of you, and he holds your gaze, Billy, have been making some interesting choices. All choices have consequences. Sometimes we just need to see how those will play out. It wasn't until and this time he looks at you, Oak. Until you banded all of yourselves together, connecting all of your natural powers together, that you appeared for me.
I lean to Laz and I would say, is this really going to boil down to like the power of friendship? And I kind of like nudge him.
You're talking about things playing out, and like this table set in front of us with these figures that look like us. Is all of this just a fucking game?
Are you Nexus? Are you with Nexus? The Nexus Project?
He actually, you see his eyes light up, and for a moment, you're not sure if you're seeing lightning from the storm outside reflected in his eyes, or if there's actual lightning in his eyes. As he goes,
awesome.
This game you see before you, this is a manifestation of Orson's safe space, his refuge. I'm sorry, Tamiko, I completely forgot what you said after that.
I asked if he was Nexus. That's it. Because Billy happens to know that this guy is Lake Michigan incarnate, but I don't believe he shared that information with anybody.
He also turns to you with still some of that laughter. No. I am not a Nexus.
So I would my gaze, and like it almost feels like it takes effort to look away from something with so much power, and I'll turn to the group, and I'll give a brief. It's like this is the spirit of the land, or in essence the spirit of the Lake of Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Someone that really deserves a lot of respect.
Like a water god? Like Neptune?
I hesitate to call myself a god, but I am the spirit of Lake Michigan.
Are you going to be visited by the spirits of the other 4 lakes later on in the evening?
From what I understand, Sigurd tells me that you have already been doused in the waters of Gichigami. You have met...
Yeah, I know that one.
You have met the Warden Thunderwave.
Is there a way to stop the Nexus? Like, truly stop them?
Nexus is a badge that those who would wield powers that don't belong to them, they hide behind. That entity that calls itself the Nexus Project. It is a vessel of money which they need to try and do the things that they have been doing all these years. It was some of them who stole from me, who took power that did not belong to them, siphoned it away, and the first of the ley lines were created. From there, they began to create other ley lines, and in the process create nexus points all around Paradise. All that you have known to this point, every ley line, every nexus point, has all been propagated through those first acts of thievery. All of you are true children of Paradise. All of you are brought into this world using that stolen power.
Rosie like leans back away from the table for a second, and she just like, so are you like pissed at us? He's just railing about stolen power and shit, and we are that, so it's like, ugh.
Far from it, child.
Good.
You did not choose how you were brought into this world. You were lied to your entire lives until you first came to Paradise. Because of your connection to this land, to these ley lines, to me, you began to see things how they are. But those who called themselves the Nexus Project, and others, they have perverted this power over time. They have many veils in the way, so you have only been seeing fragments, whispers of the truth. Look at yourselves. Look at your abilities. Look at the things that you've done. The Nexus Project would have you believe that they perpetuated that power. They awakened something dormant they gave to you. Do not let them take credit for that which is mine. You see, for just a moment, a hint of anger and thunder rumbles across the lake. As he says, again, my anger does not fall upon you. Each of you should look at the abilities that you have at your disposal as gifts.
Jake, I think at that moment, I think that Oak probably walks around the table to the opposite head of the table. And in doing so, as he's passing all of his friends, he's giving them hugs and like just reassuring himself that in this moment that they are real, that they are not a figment. This is not his mind space. This is they are real. They are physical to him in this moment. And then he'll finally sit down at the other head of the table. I didn't know what to expect. Sir, your grace, I don't exactly know what to what moniker you'd like to go by.
My mortal name is Tomaska Greywater. If it makes you feel more at ease, you can call me Tom.
Tom. Well, Mr. Greywater, Tom, sir, thank you for seeing this through, I guess. Keeping us safe in this safe spot. I don't know what I would have done if if I had tried to do something like this just to keep my friends safe, and then it didn't work. So I don't know. Part of me is excited. Part of me is dumbfounded. I don't know how to explain it. But
you see a look across his face.
Kind of looks across the table and sees this.
You just see, as you're saying this, you see a look across his face, just a little bit of concern, but he doesn't interrupt.
He like Oak will smile a little bit. If this is a game in any way, shape, or form, and you want us to win it, well then, if what you're asking is for us to take back your power from them, I'm in.
He smiles. It's a sad smile. It was very telling that moments ago when I introduced myself to you, some of the very first questions you asked are what's wrong with this place and how can we fix it?
Well, there has been a lot wrong. Like, I think that all of us initially wanted to, like, just enjoy being kids. Just enjoy our summer together. Or enjoy our classes together. Or whatever it might be. We just wanted to enjoy that. But then people kept getting involved. Messing things up. And I kind of look around at everyone at the table. When all this started, we were the tightest friends that I think I've ever met. And slowly but surely, every person got involved in our lives. And we let other people make decisions for us. Influence who we are. But I love you guys. And I don't care where we go or what happens. At the end of the day, I care about you. And I just want to make sure that whatever we do in our lives, we have control over it, not them. Sorry, I didn't mean to take over, sir. I want control of being able to take care of them, making sure that they don't feel like they have to make decisions because an iteration tells them to. Or a story goes off the rails. I want them to be who they want to be, not who they want them to be.
Seems too many people are trying to write our story.
I kind of squeeze Laz's hand at that moment. Rosie's kind of worried that if things go back, that like maybe they will not like have what they have now. Like through all of this, at least that's come out of it. Maybe it will go away if she doesn't say anything.
I think maybe even the rest of the group has already let go of each other's hands. But Laz and Rosie haven't.
He looks across the table at the two of you. He smiles that same sad smile. He says to all of you, right now, as I said, we are in one of those spaces between moments. An in-between space. In between seconds ticking on a clock. Right now, time is frozen. On the brink of ticking over to the next moment. The consequences of your actions that brought you here will bring you to the next moment have not yet unfolded. He kind of looks to you, Oak, Laz, Jessica. He finally looks at Billy and then Coop. I cannot protect you to the point that I can save you from yourselves. I cannot, nor will I, intervene should your actions bring about your own demise. That is what fate has in store for you, then that is not my place. I can tell you this. If you are willing, do what must be done to try to set things right. You will never be forsaken as children of Paradise. And it is within my power, should you set things right, to grant you the opportunity to go where you want to go. If you want to start over before all of this happened, you will. If you want to continue in some variation of Paradise, untainted, so be it. Or some other thing that I cannot conceive of, but I'm sure your minds can.
What if we want different things?
Billy, that is what life is all about when you grow up, realizing that you and your friends want, need different things. You will have to decide individually and with each other what you want to do. But each of your decisions will be your own. Don't furrow your brows and darken your thoughts with what could be. You're thinking too hard on the potential prize. We haven't even seen.
What about a simpler question? Or a more complicated one? I don't know. Why us? Why this rabble group of teenagers and almost teenagers?
Your destinies, unfortunately, were chosen for you by those who thought they were in charge. They wielded power that didn't belong to them, and tried to control it and meld it to their will. But what they didn't count on was when that they brought you all here. You all met. You already had an unseen bond.
And I imagine and I kind of allow a sneer to like kind of come to my face, but I make sure that I like look away from him and then not looking at any of my friends when I say this, but like, what did my family want with all this?
Power.
Were we to be their weapons, tools?
The people who would use you, Billy. And as he says this, you notice that he doesn't specifically say your family. He says the people who would use you.
Okay.
Do so for their own selfish means. They do not have your best interest in mind. They only care about the power that you have, how they can make it theirs.
Billy is trying to contain the frustration and anger that's rising up. We've heard this kind of stuff before, but it doesn't make it any easier when it's like, yeah, this sucks. You were created to help somebody else.
You are going to have to figure out how to wield that power for yourself. How to take that control and prevent them from using you up. Remember that your choices are your own. As I said, it was very telling what your first questions were. I am very glad to have met you.
The honor was truly ours. I thank you for the frankness and the ability to answer the questions that you have.
Before I leave you, before the clock ticks forward to the next moment, when you go into this next moment, you are leaving the control of the Nexus project. You will be moving outside what they call the iterations. This is not a simulation. This is not something constructed by them. Where you go next, I will bring you. I cannot guarantee that your choices that you make will keep you out of the clutches of the Nexus, nor that I guarantee that you will stay out of their influence. You may find yourself eventually caught up in another iteration if you're not careful. You may find yourself in another world.
So, when we step out of this moment, what is paradise to be?
The only way that I can guarantee that you are outside of their influence, the only way that I can give you a hope of affecting the future outcomes, what is your past? I will bring you before Paradise. I'm going to bring you to where it all started. And as he says that, he crosses his arms with a sort of finality to that statement as he looks around at all of you. Brace yourselves.
Billy looks genuinely nervous.
With that,
I imagine it like as it's happening. Rosie's like, "Brace? What do you mean brace yourself? Brace yourselves on what?"
Rosa,
Tom, it was nice to meet you. I'll be honest, I don't understand half of what you just said, but don't worry. One of these guys will explain it to me.
Somebody will give me the Reader's Digest version.
The emergency exits are on the front
notes.
and the sides.
I am certain that this is not the last time we will speak.
Billy smiles at that.
And with that, he closes his eyes. And as he does so, as you see his eyes close, you all feel your own eyes close.
Ooh.
There is...
Should we hold hands again?
At this point, if you want to reach out for each other's hands, you can certainly do so.
I don't think I ever let go of Laz.
You feel
Unless
your eyes
we're told
close.
to do so, my eyes are closed, and I just stand there.
You feel a sort of you feel a I can't think of the word in the pit of your stomach, like the contextually for your characters, it feels exactly like when you were on the Edmund Fitzgerald and a huge wave lifted the ship and then suddenly dropped down. Because this feels like you are on one of the Great Lakes and at the mercy of a huge swell. You hear the crash of waves. You hear the rumble of thunder. And behind your closed eyes, you can see faint flashes of lightning. And then you all feel rain falling on you. And that is where we're going to take a break.
Oof.
We'll make it short. We don't have a whole lot longer to go, but some of us have bladder issues. So we're going to go ahead and take a brief bio break. We'll be back in just a few moments. And we're back. Now, as you all feel the rain falling upon you, make sure, okay. As you all feel the rain falling upon you, we have to resolve some dice rolls. Because you were, as Tomaska stated, you were in that moment between moments. The things hadn't played out yet. I need the ones that are going to be rolling are Oak, Billy, Laz, and Jessica, and I will have M roll at a later time. Laz and Jessica each succeeded on their third dice roll. So that means there's a 30% chance of something happening. What I will tell you is I've kind of fixed this a little bit. For those that didn't hear, I modified the consequences from the original to have a little bit more punch to them. And I will say that regardless of how many or few dice you roll, there is always a chance of a very bad outcome when you use your powers. You do not want to roll exactly what I roll, ever. That said, excuse me, based on how many dice you roll will determine how many of the... Leave my feet alone, don't. This cat's attacking my feet. Regardless of how many or depending on how many dice you roll, will open up how many of the possibilities there are. If you used more dice, then you would have a greater percentage chance, which means you would open up those more dire consequences beyond the one that's always lingering there. Does that make sense? It might make more sense when you actually roll. So I would like Laz and Billy to roll first. So one of you roll first, and then I'll roll my
The D100.
You roll the D100. So where did my Billy numbers go? Billy, you were on the 4th die.
Yep.
So yeah, you have a 40%.
All right.
You're looking at 30%. So,
I have a 49.
Okay. It's a 12. Which is, you were at what? I said 40%?
Yep.
So you're
20.
outside of the parameters. So you suffer no negative effects. Last, what'd you get?
I got a 91.
I'm scared for a second there. So you at 30%, you're at a difference of 30, so you're outside of the realm of effect. So you suffer no negative consequences as well. Oak. You were at 4 because you had some phenomenal explosions, and the bonus that you had when the DC went up was a free die that you exploded twice on. So you were rolling at 40%. What is your D100 result?
$36. Don't know if that's going to be good.
20
Don't know
on
if
either
that's gonna
side.
be out.
I rolled a 14. Which is... So
Uh-oh.
Yep.
That's...
Uh-oh.
Gedios.
Sorry, you rolled a 30... Wait, I rolled a...
He
I rolled
needs
a
to be
36.
20 on either side. He's within the 40%.
Right, I'm... Sorry, you rolled a 36.
Yep, 36.
So that puts you within 10.
Yep.
Well, 20% because it's 10 on either side, right?
Right, that's what I mean. So
Sorry,
whatever that
okay.
percentage is, I split it so that if you're within that much of the number,
Right.
so you're within 10 on either side, which puts you at profound temporary physical effects. Severe impairments like temporary paralysis, blindness, or racking pain debilitates you. Friends may need to carry or protect you. Vulnerabilities might lead to moments of character growth or reliance on others. So keep this in mind as because I trust you all implicitly as role players, I'm going to let you take just what I told you. It's a severe temporary impairment that is going to be debilitating. So as we come out, as we complete this, I will leave it up to you to determine how that plays out. Dice rolls are out of the way. Now, you all feel the rain falling, and I think because of the impact of this and because nobody else had any negative effects, I want to know, before he even knows where he is or what's going on, I want to know what's happening with Oak, because his reaction is the first thing that all of the rest of you are going to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So, because he's wearing the leg braces, like, what if there's something going on, like shooting leg pains or something? Exacerbate an already existing condition.
So, Jake, I don't know where we are. I think the stupor of coming back into whatever space we have gone to is so much so that I don't know where we're at. But I think that there is this moment where wherever he is at, he is trying to move. He is trying to move from the space. I imagine he's probably seated, like as if he were still in the booth or in the chair that he was in at the table. And there's this moment where he tries to get up from the space. And you just watch as his body sort of lists like a rag doll. And the upper portion of him like begins to clamber forward, and then he like laying flatly against whatever surface. It's like, guys,
What's the matter?
fuck, shit! I can't feel my legs.
What are you talking about?
God.
I
Oh
can't.
my God.
I can't feel my legs.
Oak, calm down. And I think Rosie wouldn't try to like help him up first. She would just like kneel down and like put her hand on his chest and be like, calm down. Settle down. It'll be okay. I'm sure it'll be okay.
Look, I was okay. He has no words. He's just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where we are. I'm like looking around. The only thing that I'm trying to focus on now is faces, because I see Rosie. So I'm just like looking you dead in the eyes, and I don't want to look anywhere else right now.
Okay, it'll be okay. You just sit back for a minute and let us handle this. You got us this far.
Okay.
I think Laz comes up and he's taken off like his. I imagine he wears like a sleeveless denim jacket, a lot. And so he's taken that off and has kind of like rolled it up, and he kind of like is trying to put that under like Oak's head. But here, just lay on this. Just watch out for the safety pins.
Thanks for the warning, man.
You hit your cheek on one that says vote.
Ow. It's okay. It's all right.
As this is happening,
rain is okay, right?
Rain is continuing to fall.
It's gonna be okay.
And you realize you guys are in the middle of the woods.
Shit.
There's trees around you. Everybody make me a brains check real quick. I'm looking for a high number here. I just want to see who notices something first.
I got a 7.
First time in the game, Nat 1, baby.
I'll add my star. I'll add my star to that to make it a 9.
Okay. Billy's got a 10. Got a 12 for Laz. Oop.
Good job, Laz.
2.
Oh no.
Make any sense, but all right.
So, Laz, after you sort of lay this denim jacket down, you kind of stand up and push your wet hair out of your face, and that's when you first kind of get a look around your surroundings, and you realize you're in the woods, but they're a little sparser than you expected. As you realize there's quite a few stumps of trees that have already been cut down, and then you hear what sounds like the cracking of thunder, and you realize it's not thunder.
Oh shit.
And you hear timber, and you watch as one of the tall this tree towering 70 feet begins to fall in the direction of all of you.
I would grab
everybody.
I would grab Oak and roll, like hug him like on the ground. Rosie's just full on top of you right now, and she would just like roll.
You all hear the cracking sound. It was Laz just sort of noticed all of that there were already felled trees in the area, or sign of felled trees. Billy, Coop, what are you doing as this tree is falling? You've got a moment.
Moving out of the way of the large falling tree.
Indeed.
Great plan.
To the side. Not like in the movies where they run along the length of the path of the
right. Hey, dumbass.
So I think as Rosie grabs Oak and sort of rolls out of the way, I imagine the tree falls and it falls between all of you.
Mm.
And as it crashes down, a moment later, you hear the sound of something coming through the brush. And then you see 3 men wearing heavy woolen clothes. They've got some kind of pants with suspenders and these heavy shirts that are long sleeve shirts. And they're carrying large woodcutter's axes. As they come running through to check on where the tree fell, and then they sort of come up short. The one in the lead holds his hand up to the others, and then he holds his axe a little defensively as he moves forward, looking at all of you. Who are you?
All of us? They see all of us?
Yeah, they're looking, like you can see him peering over the felled tree, kind of looking at where some of you are on the other side.
We're
We're
just
a bunch of
children,
kids.
sir.
We're from Paradise.
Where's that?
Oh, well, if it's right about here. Wait, here.
Nope, you were right the first time.
Oh, okay.
It's up here.
You see a look of recognition as he slightly lowers. Ah. So you're from the main peninsula.
Yeah, the Leelanau.
Fun ones.
Who are you?
Okay.
Rosie's standing between them and Oak.
Well, if you are from the Leelanau Peninsula, you are from here. You are currently
pinky.
here. And he points out in what would indicate the middle of Lake Michigan.
What are you talking about? Is this like an island?
The 2 guys in the back start laughing. What do you mean, is this an island? How did you arrive here and not know you were on South Manitou Island?
Oh yeah.
How did
sure,
you get
of
here?
course.
I think we were kidnapped, sir. I can't speak for everybody, but I don't remember how I got here.
Yeah.
You happen to know a way that we can get back to the mainland?
I don't think we're supposed to get back to the mainland. think we're supposed to be here for a reason.
Why don't you come back to camp with us? You look cold and wet. You're whatever these, and kind of looks at just the way you're all dressed. Whatever this is does not look warm. We'll get you in front of a fire, get you a nice warm blanket, some hot chocolate, and you can talk to the colonel.
I could go for some cocoa.
You don't happen to have a TV, do you? I like watching a movie or a show when I get cocoa.
What?
Fucking I knew it, you bitch.
I don't know what you are talking about.
Oh my god.
Oh. And they kind of well, actually, as they come in a little bit closer. Are you okay? You look hurt as they come over to you, Oak.
He is. He something weird happened when we got here, and now he can't feel his legs.
Did you get hit by the tree?
No, but I can't really move right now, and I'm scared.
You happen to have a doctor at your camp?
Yep. Of course we got a doctor. You don't do a logging operation without having medical personnel on hand.
Oh, yeah, that's smart. You probably get a lot of cuts.
Well,
Billy, don't you Boy Scouts know how to make like stretchers and stuff?
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, so I'll try and find a couple of logs. Take a jacket off. Wrap it around so we can lay Oak down.
I imagine Billy is like really good at this.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he does it like fast and like with expert.
Yeah, I'm not
like,
going to
he
make him
knows what
roll
he's
anything.
doing.
You're a scout. You just, in fact, as you do this very, very quickly and efficiently, and the three lumberjacks just kind of stand there for a moment, and they're just like, "What is he?"
Rosie nods. And he's a Boy Scout.
And he or they this happened so quickly. That's what I thought.
Can I interject one thing real quick? I imagine that as they're kind of like helping Oak onto the stretcher, Rosie would smile, like just kind of a little smile at Billy and be like, "Hell yeah, Billy," and then just go back to helping Oak. It's very quick.
And the one lumberjack who's been doing most of the talking, he goes, "I don't know what outfit you're with that has Boy Scouts, but they've taught you well." And he says, "Come with me."
I did a lot of camping.
Well, then you should feel right at home. And we sort of cut to this view of a wood line as we see the lumberjacks emerging from the wood line. And then we see all of you as you step out of the wood line. Who's carrying Oak's stretcher?
I imagine it's probably Laz.
The boys.
Laz and Billy. So the three of you, and then Coop and Rosie and Jessica, you all sort of step out, and we see your faces first as we're seeing the reaction to the sight as the camera pans to behind you, and we see a pretty good sized logging camp. You see white or gray canvas tents everywhere. You see where they have a sawmill is set up. That you can see throughout the camp. You can see that there are horses that are drawing wagons with logs on them, everything you are seeing is looking like something you've seen in a history book.
Looking a little old-timey, AJ?
You don't yet know what year it is. But as we see this scene, the camera starts to rise up. And we see that the logging camp is nearby the lakeshore, where there is a dock that has been set up. And there's already a couple of boats there that are loaded up with logs. And we can see out on the water that there's another boat that's coming in as one is getting ready to head out. These are steam-powered boats. And as the camera pans even further, in fact, as it's pulling back away from this dock, we see this sort of, as the camera passes by, an exact replica of Candle Point Lighthouse on the shore of South Manitou Island. And that is where we will see, if this were a TV show, next season, Welcome to Paradise, Michigan, Genesis.
Ooh, Genesis.
And that is where we are gonna end this session and this season. With the gang stuck somewhere before the invention of, or the founding of, the Boy Scouts of America.
Oh, God.
Michigan has already been established, but it's very clearly in a time where there's steam-powered vessels and things are being done by horse and wagon. And
Rosie is not going to get to watch Unsolved Mysteries tonight, and she is pissed. Pissed.
Yeah, that was quite a clever, quite a clever way of discovering or confirming a suspicion.
And I was like, incredible, awesome.
So, I will say, because of the immediate speculation, it's before 1885.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
So, I won't tell you how far, but it is telling that you had to go before 1885 in order for Michigama to bring you before Paradise, before everything started
Paradise
happening.
is as old as the state itself.
I actually I can't believe I had forgotten to do this, but I had forgotten to check when Michigan became a state. And I was like, oh man, I hope I didn't screw up. But, so, just to give you a bracket, you know it's sometime, days, weeks, months, or years before 1885, but after 1837.
You expect that a bunch of kids know off the top of their head when Michigan became a state?
The year.
I call BS on that.
No, I'm
absolutely
not.
not.
Sorry. I'm
even the kids who live here.
No. I wasn't talking to you, the kids. You, the kids, have absolutely no idea when you are. I was just talking to you, the players. Sorry. Yeah, no, you, the kids, have no idea when you are.
We're like in cowboy times. That's as best as Rosie can do.
Yep. So,
Shit.
yeah,
Oh
so
my
that's
God.
where,
Ooh.
in the chat, Craig says Michigan became a state in 1837. Craig does a pioneer program where he is in character as a historical person for kids and people that come through the program, and he teaches third graders that fact, he said. So good that I'm getting live fact checked by an actual history reenactor.
This is intense. Oh boy.
But thankfully,
well, we are camping.
There we go.
Thankfully, the consequences didn't turn out to be too dire for the results of the power usage. But we also haven't seen Jess's role yet. And we'll need to make a note. I have it highlighted in a different color, but we need to resolve Tomiko's Coop's result of the roll.
Yeah.
And episode 1 is the perfect place for that to start to manifest. Yeah, I can just hear it. as you look out over this camp, Jessica just goes, ew.
There's no electricity.
So, episode 38 is the finale before Paradise. Next season, which will be in the new year, we'll be back with Welcome to Paradise, Michigan, Genesis in 2025.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Just a reminder, if you're still with us, hanging out with us, please stop by tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for episode 1 of Aether Nexus, the Severed Night Trilogy, a Mini Terrain Domain presents in association with Absolute Tabletop, an official sponsored game. I forgot to mention, we're giving away digital copies of Aether Nexus. We're going to be giving away a couple copies of that during the game, so you can have a chance to own it yourself. Aether Nexus is a pretty cool system that is a different flavor and with different rule set, but from the same black hack as the Mecha Hack, which is also by Absolute Tabletop. So if you've played Mecha Hack, you'll see a lot of similarities, but they've done so much with it that it lives as its own thing. So you get a completely different flavor and style of gameplay. It's its own world, and
a really interesting setting.
Yeah, it's a really interesting setting. It's a very open to interpretation for a lot of different GMs. Especially you'll see that when you see how Jeremy ran his campaign versus how I run mine, and you'll see some similarities because it comes down to how the players use their etheric knights. The Nexus is a unique part of the system, and of course, everybody you gotta love big badass mechs, which are also different in this setting. So please do come by and check that out, and mark your calendars for December 7th for Todd Stashwick's Nerd Circus presents Legends of Eleonora: Secret of the Frozen Flame, with Todd Stashwick, Gates McFadden, Anson Mount, Celia Rose Gooding, and Ed Spaliers, along with our 2 auction winners for a D&D celebrity charity event raising money for the Pavlov Foundation. Once again, so we hope to see you there for that. That's all I got for now. We'll see you tomorrow or whenever we see you. Thank you to everybody hanging out in chat. Thank you, as always, in this case, to Tamiko for the 5 community subs that also turned into whatever happens from this.
There is such vengeance in Tamiko's eyes. Right?
Yeah, and Carrie's resub at 43 months. Gotta love that. Almost
4 years.
4 years.
Coming up.
So and everybody hanging out in chat. Always appreciate seeing the conversation going on there. But of course, I have to say, at the end of 2 seasons, I'm so glad you all want to keep going. I love playing this game with you guys and discovering these new stories and seeing what you all are going to do. Sorry I can't give you just another fun summer in Paradise. It's going to be quite the opposite, but I guarantee you it's going to be completely different. So thank you, as always, to all of these amazing friends and players. Thank you, Chad, Tamiko, Carrie, Ted, Jeremy. And though they're not here with us tonight, they're definitely with us in spirit, M. Without whom, this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
Studio, because
Why didn't I take the